Hey everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and if you're a current subscriber returning to watch my videos, I really do appreciate it quite a bit. So today is the second installment in my Skywalker saga reviews, and also a Steelbook film review. So the movie today I will be reviewing is Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones. Here is the Steelbook. It's got Yoda on the front. This Star Wars title is embossed, which is cool. This is the back cover, which I really, really like. And this is the inside, which is nice, because I like when they put art on the inside. It's also Blu-ray. It's a nice steelbook, and I do like it. Alright, so let's get into the review. This review might be all over the place, just because there's a lot of thoughts, because I literally just finished watching this movie about 10 minutes ago. I'm going to talk about the things I like and the things I disliked. I'm not really going to get into the plot because this movie's pretty old, so chances are if you're watching this review for any reason, you've probably seen this film. I gotta say, this is... I can't really say this is my favorite Star Wars film, but it does hold a pretty close place in my heart due to its significance in my life, I guess. Kind of sounds weird, but let me explain. So I was raised in a very strict, conservative, religious, homeschooled family. We went through some portions of time where we were pretty secluded from outside influences, I guess I can say, and everything was like overanalyzed. I've mentioned this in my Lord of the Rings reviews, how certain media was not allowed due to the fact that people misunderstood it and looked at it differently than what it is. Anyhow, basically, there was a lot of stuff we couldn't watch, and for a while we didn't watch anything. Like, anything. I remember I had wanted to see Star Wars since I was younger because my cousins were into it. I had a friend who was into it. So I think I was around 12 or 13 years old, and our street had a garage sale, and someone was selling the VHS tape of Attack of the Clones for like $0.25. I bought it. I probably shouldn't have, but I did anyway. Rebel. I thought, well, I can get away with buying it because it's a super good deal and my dad likes good deals. He was working late or traveling somewhere that night, and I called him on the phone thinking that might be my best chance. It could either go really, really well or really, really bad, but I was hoping it was going to go well. So I said, hey, I got a couple movies at this garage sale today. I was wondering, is it okay if I watch some of them? And then I said, oh, I got one of the newer Star Wars movies. I'd really like to watch it. And he's like, well, I don't know, you know how we feel about those, and they're kind of spiritual and all that. And I said, I don't know. I spun it some weird way, and eventually he was like, okay, fine. Just, if it gets inappropriate, you're gonna have to turn it off. He hung up the phone. I'm assuming he just said yes because he was really busy at the moment and didn't want to... Sorry. He was really busy at the moment and didn't want to talk anymore about it and just wanted to get off the phone. But, hey, I'll take what I can get. I sat down and I watched it, and I remember it was super exciting for me. I'd never seen anything like this before. I finally got to see lightsabers on a screen and not a toy, and I fell in love with them. I've always thought they were cool, but once I actually heard the sound and saw it on a screen, it was just so cool. So yeah, it kind of holds a special place in my heart, like I said, because it was a first experience for me with something that I really, really enjoyed and had always wanted to watch and be a part of. I think every Star Wars fan has some kind of story associated with one of the movies, which is great because movies bring us together, and I think movies are great. Obviously, I review movies all the time. It's like my thing. I love movies. I got tons of movies. There's so much good that can be found in film. I mean, there's a lot of bad too, but there's a lot of good and a lot of great stories that come from viewing films. And so I am glad to be a part of that phenomenon, I guess. and that fandom. So anyhow, CGI isn't terrible. There are some scenes where it is very obviously bad. I would give it a free pass because this movie is older, but the fact that episode 1 was made years before this, and its CGI is better in most places than in this film, I can't really give it like a free pass because I think they could have done better because we saw them do better earlier. The editing is okay. The pace is generally alright. The story is good. This film is not as political as The Phantom Menace, so I think it appealed to more people because there was more action and more character. It was more character driven compared to episode 1. But the problem that they ran into with that is there are parts that are not as serious, even some parts that are a little cheesy because they're focusing more on characters than they are on like the events of what is conspiring in the politics of the Republic, the Senate, the Separatists, the dark side of the Force, the Jedi. That's not a focal point of this movie. So it does feel quite a bit different than episode 1. In some ways it's better, and in some ways it's not. People joke about the prequels because Hayden Christensen, some of his acting comes across really, really bad. Personally, I think he's a really good actor. I've seen him in some other things. He definitely knows how to act. I just feel that the script he was given and the director, which is George Lucas, and I'll get to that in a minute, I just feel that he could have done better with a better script and with a better director. George Lucas is not... He's famous, okay? And he's iconic, and he's a good creator. But as a director, I don't think he's really that great. No, I'm not really in any position to be like, you suck. But there are definitely more talented directors out there, and at that time there were also more talented directors, and I just feel like if this was put in the hands of somebody else, that they could have done a better job. I think that affects Hayden Christensen's acting. I think all his acting is completely the director's fault. I don't pick on him or blame him, but there are a couple lines that I do quote on an often basis. Whenever someone mentions going to the beach or sand or something like that, I'll always be like, I don't like sand. It's coarse and it's rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. It's like exactly how he says it, and the line is just so weird, and then it's followed by him touching Padme on the hand and then on the back and being like, but not you. You're soft and beautiful. It's just weird. So weird. There are parts that are supposed to be romantic in this movie that are extremely uncomfortable. Anakin is looking at Padme and talking to her about how much he loves her, and he'll be like, I love you so much. You hurt my heart. He comes across so desperately creepy. I know it's a love story and I get it, but it comes across so almost predatory that it's extremely uncomfortable to watch. There's some great action scenes in this movie, especially near the end. There's this whole battle that takes place in this arena, and I remember seeing it the first time and how just totally awesome and epic it was. Usually when you see Jedi in the movies, there's one or two of them, but in this scene, there's 100. This whole arena just lights up with green and blue lightsabers, and it's just so cool. They have this big battle with all these droids, and it's just so much fun. Mace Windu has the only purple lightsaber, so that is really unique and cool as well. There's a great duel at the end between Obi Wan and Anakin and Count Dooku. Played by the actor who played Saruman. That's great as well, and then Count Dooku is way more skilled than them, so he takes both of them out of the fight, and then Yoda comes in. We're used to seeing Yoda like hobble around with a stick. Sense things in the Force, I do. But in this scene, he drops his little walking stick and he goes total nutsoid mode on Count Dooku, and he's like doing parkour off of the walls of the cave and off of the spaceship, and oh, it's just so cool. It's so unexpected. The soundtrack is great. This movie has one of my favorite themes from Star Wars. I love the Force theme from Star Wars, and this theme, and I believe it's called Across the Stars, and it's beautiful. It has this tragic quality to it, but also this just beautiful feel to it, and like it still gives me goosebumps when I hear it, and even talking about it right now, I'm getting goosebumps. So John Williams is just the absolute master. Alright, that about wraps it up. Comment below on what you thought of this movie. If you'd like this video and subscribe, I would much appreciate it. It does help me quite a bit. I'm trying to kind of get out there more, and I don't have many ways to do that unless people subscribe. So I really would appreciate it. And before I go, there's one last thing that I promised from the last review. I was going to show off my Obi Wan Kenobi Hilt, which is my favorite, and here it is. The pommel is actually on my other one, which I showed in my last review. I switch them out occasionally. I think it looks better on the other one, so I just interchange them. But this is my favorite hilt design. Even before I ever saw Star Wars, my cousin had one of these, plastic obviously, and it was this design, and I just love it. I love how it feels. I love the way it looks. It's not too fancy, but it doesn't look too just like a pipe. I remember when I finally convinced my dad to let me finally buy my own. The only one they had in the store that wasn't red was this hilt design. And it was obviously a toy, it was plastic, and it was this hilt design, and it was green. My cousin had the same hilt design, but it was blue, so I thought this is perfect, because I like green. It will distinguish mine from his, so we'll never get mixed up, and it's my favorite hilt design. I bought it with my own money. It cost me like $8 or $10. I still have it. I have so many fond memories of playing with that thing. So then a few years ago, I was like, I really want to get one that lights up, that's metal. So I did buy one. It doesn't make any sound because the sound option was extremely more expensive. But this is it. I was able to customize what color I wanted the blade to be. And I thought, this is my favorite lightsaber hilt. So this is part of my childhood. And throwback to episode 2 and how unique Mace Windu's lightsaber is, I will get purple. So, I love it. I love it! So yeah. Really good decision on my part. So, yeah. That is the story of this, if you stuck around to hear it. Alright. Thanks for watching. My name is Aaron. May the Force be with you, and stick around for my episode 3 review coming out tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.